So a few weeks ago, I passed a $100,000 FTMO challenge. So I added another $100,000 to my total funding allocation. This is actually the first FTMO challenge I've taken since 2022. Around when I started this YouTube channel, actually, I was funded with them for $200,000, but they actually terminated my contract when I reached the FTMO leaderboards. FTMO is known for their strong reputation. You know, they've been in the industry for 8 to 9 years. So I decided I'd give them another try, and I try and pass challenge with them again without violating any of their rules. So in this video, I'll be going over the dashboard. I'll be giving you my thoughts and my opinions on FTMO, and at the end I'll briefly touch on my trades, the same as I did in my Blue Guardian video. This will be the exact same clip going over the trades, and again, if you want to see me go over these trades in more detail, you can watch this video here. I'll put a card in the top right corner of the video. So I'm on the dashboard now. I've brought up my phase 1 account, my phase 2 account, and the live account, which we can go over in another video, because as you can see, we've got a $6,000 pending payout there as well. So that will be another video, and I'll show you the payout process and the payout proof, just to give you some confidence if you're choosing whether to go for FTMO yourself. So we'll start off with the phase 1 account here. I started this account in February, and early February to March, it was very clean. Lots of nice trades. You can see it was pretty much straight up. I mean, what was it when it started going straight up? March. That's when I started doing really well. They've introduced this consistency score since I last traded with them, which is quite interesting. A high value indicates more consistent trading, so I guess not too bad. 68%, that's okay, right? They've got a minimum of 4 trading days. I still think the minimum trading days is kind of pointless. And it's more of a hindrance than anything. It's a bit of a nuisance, and the fact that you can pass it with micro lots is kind of silly. You know, if you want to enforce minimum trading days, you should really be using it with an average lot size. You know, you shouldn't be able to pass it just by throwing some micro lots every 24 hours. So yeah, maybe that is something to take away from FTMO, but obviously that is a tiny thing. It just delays you getting the phase 2 credentials. So FTMO has a 10% profit target, 10% max drawdown, and a 5% max daily loss. And my max loss was only 3%, which is fantastic. Hit the profit target quite easily, and I never exceeded the max daily loss either. I risk 1% on the account, with it being a 10% profit target, and you can see I had 2 losses in a day. I think that's the worst it went. So I took 14 trades at a 42% win rate. My profit factor was 2.79, and my average risk reward was 3.72. So very good stats there. My average profit was $2,600, and my average loss was $700. And you can see here the trades that did the heavy lifting really was this AU trade, this AU trade, and this AU trade. And I'll be going over these 3 trades at the end of the video. This is interesting, so we can see when the profitability came from. Obviously this is a very small sample size with it only being 14 trades, but you can see that the majority of my profitability actually were in the mornings, and then the afternoons and evenings did not do so good. So I think that's pretty reasonable. You know, I live in London, so London session, New York session, looks like these did pretty good. My buys and sells worked out. The buys worked out especially good. Here's my trading volume. Not that interesting, to be honest. And my most profitable pairs. So AU, by far the most profitable pair. We'll have a look at the phase 2 credentials now. Let's come over here. And phase 2, not the credentials, God, the metrics. You'll all have access to the account. So this account, similarly to the Blue Guardian, was passed in 1 trade, but frustratingly they had the minimum trading days, so I had to do micro lots to be able to pass this objective. one tip I've got for you, probably quite a well-known one at this point, is to micro lot on Ethereum or Bitcoin if you're trying to achieve the minimum trading days over the weekend, because of course the Forex markets aren't open, so you can't open a trade there. But if you open a tiny trade on Bitcoin or a tiny trade on Ethereum and close it straight away, that will actually count towards your minimum trading days, and you can get your phase 2 or funded account credentials a little bit faster. So everything's the same for phase 2. The profit target is 5% instead of 10%, so much easier to achieve, and I think I literally had a straight 5% trade to pass this. So again, I'm the best trader in the world. Actually, no, I'm not. I've got a 25% win rate this time. I was going to say, you know, one trade, boom, 100% win rate, but actually I took 4 micro lots trades and they all lost. Look, they all made me a negative a few pennies. That's so sad. So yeah, EJ flag was what passed me this phase 2, and I'll go over that trade in a moment. So now I'm going to go over the 4 trades that actually passed me this challenge. As I said, I'm going to go over them really briefly, and if you want to see me go over these trades in more detail, you can watch my trade recap for March. So we started off with 2 3% wins, so there's 6% right here. I believe these took me out of that drawdown, and it was actually this flag here which ultimately took me over the line, I'm pretty sure. So a liquidity sweep, just looking for a break of the high and a retrace, essentially, if I'm going to simplify it. And the same as we break this low here, major low with all these pushes up within here, so you know that there's a lot of stops down here, and just looking for a shift back up. And taking a market execution with a 3R, boom, 6R right there. And then we started to see a trend out of this price action. You could say we're in a large descending channel. Really nice momentum up, no shift in the pullback candles, engulfing entry candle, trailing my stop all the way up to 5% risk reward. I'll show you the trades that passed me phase 2 now, or the trade that passed me phase 2. So here is the trade that passed me phase 2, all in one go, which is quite funny. We're with the uptrend, which is a positive thing. We're clearly trending to the upside, and we had this really tight flag formation here. There's nothing really wrong with this at all. I mean, my stop loss was tiny, so I was a little bit concerned about that, but price moved away with like 0 drawdown, and I trailed my stops here again for a 5.2% risk reward on that trade there. FTMO is one of the oldest prop firms. They're also one of the slowest to change, I feel. The challenge is a little bit more expensive and a little bit harder, but obviously you get what you pay for. You get quality, you get a very reliable prop firm that isn't going to trick you out of any payouts generally. And I think most people will probably have a very positive experience with FTMO, so I can definitely recommend them. I hope you guys have found this video useful. Feel free to leave any comments down below, like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next week or two. Thank you for watching.